we're on board with Martin Farmer looking back at the field as he waits for the lights. A little bit of rolling, almost time to get underway in this Formula V race, and away they go, and it looks like it's a good solid start for Ben Anderson. Belzy's got a strong start and pulling straight off there. Was that Steve-O pulling off?
It was David Townrow who went pretty well yesterday and qualified well indeed too this weekend.
That's a shame for David starting on the second row of the grid, but it is Farmer who leads. Dave Hodkin managed to hold off Peter Belzy to hang on into second position as they make their way through Charlie's now and out towards the Park Straight. Farmer goes defensive quite early, doesn't he? He knows that slipstreaming is going to be crucial today, and that allows Dave Hodkin to pull alongside as they head towards Park for the first time.
And he's got through, hasn't he? Yes, the car fully ahead, although Farmer tries to fight back as they go into Park Corner. Farmer on the inside line. Hodkin, the kart racer, the former kart racer, 45 years of age, is on the outside. And look, Farmer's gone down to second. His excellent vantage point looking backwards from his car. We can see Peter Belzy behind him in third position. Declan McDonald, who had a DNF yesterday after that contact with Ben Anderson, he was fourth. It damaged the exhaust. Declan was concerned that it might have done a bit more damage than it actually did, so he pulled off the circuit. So it's Hodkin leading, still a relative novice. A new car this season for him in the shape of the AHS Dominator. 20 years of karting experience, so lots of racing under his belt, but not so much in cars.
Peter Belzy is climbing his way up the mountain. This long train of Formula V cars crest the hill and head into the Hall Bends. They're all pretty much line astern, not really any way you can go 2 or 3 abreast into the Hall Bends, and then they'll drop down into the hairpin and down towards Barn Corner. Belzy having a little look up the inside there into the hairpin. That was always going to be a risky strategy. Needed to make sure Farmer was compliant, and as a result, Belzy has dropped a couple of car lengths back, and that could cost him as they head out to start the second lap. And indeed, it is Farmer and Hodkin who are the closest, and Farmer could get a tow here.
He could indeed. Meanwhile, David Townrow, by the way, did get going again. The former Cadwell Road Sports racer and race winner in the past is now down at the back of the field, chasing after the cars ahead of him. But let's watch from on board with Martin Farmer. Pete Belzy behind us in second place. It's a change of lead there at the exit of Charlie's. And Martin Farmer, a good move to get past at that particular part of the circuit, but Hodkin right back in the slipstream again, and it's very close, isn't it, as they come up to the right-hander. But Hodkin could lose second place here to Belzy if he leaves the door open, which he does. And the orange car, the former championship winning car when it was in the hands of Jez Clark, goes through. But look how much of a lead Martin Farmer has now pulled out.
That was cunning driving from Farmer down the straight. He knows that it's not particularly wide here at Cadwell Park, so he just parked the car in the middle, and Hodkin could go neither way, and as a result, Belzy has got through. And as you say, Ian, that has given Martin Farmer a reasonable advantage so far. So will these chasing pack be able to draft their way up to the back of Farmer? Or now Farmer's got a break, will he simply romp clear, because Belzy's having to go a little defensive into the bottom of the mountain?
He romped clear yesterday, and I rather think he might do again in this one. People like Ben Anderson, with a lack of track time this weekend, are further down the order. Ashley Sutton isn't here. Those have been the 2 of the race winners this season. With all due respect to Peter Belzy and Dave Hodkin and the other drivers out there, they just don't seem to have Martin Farmer's pace here this weekend. Lap record, by the way, here at Cadwell Park is a 1:35.78, and we've not been really anywhere close to that so far this weekend, with these warm conditions having a big effect on the cars.
So we've got Farmer comfortably out in the lead, then Belzy and Hodkin are in their own little group, and then we've got McDonald and Paul Smith. But here comes Hodkin up the inside into Coppice, makes the late move, and Belzy can do nothing to defend from that. He runs a little bit wide as they make their way towards Charlie's now, and Ben Anderson is now in front of Declan McDonald, so that's a change as well.
Yes, looking further back down the order, the 39 car is the Storm 2008 of Richard Potterton. And you can also see out there Jenny Anderson, Ben's sister, also racing this weekend, but she didn't really get out for qualifying, so she started at the back, and as she did yesterday, is trying to fight her way up through the order.
Declan McDonald then making his way around Park and out towards the gooseneck. Belzy is fairly close still to Hodkin, and Ben Anderson now has pulled away a little from Declan McDonald, who's having to fight off Steve-O as they drop down into Mansfield. He's dropped a little further behind, though, has Steve-O, as they make their way through the downhill cambered left-hander, but Belzy is really close now, up in front of Hodkin in front. Hodkin feels the need to go very defensive into the bottom of the mountain. Belzy fancies a late lunge, not quite going to be close enough, and then they climb their way up, but this really is allowing Farmer to romp free as they head to the Hall Bends.
Yeah, they're not really helping each other, are they? They're slowing each other up. This the 9th round then of the 750 Most Club Formula V Championship. Martin Farmer looking strong then to extend his advantages. Belzy makes a challenge up the inside of Dave Hodkin as they go into the hairpin, but that came to nothing. Farmer was 15 points clear of Ashley Sutton coming into this weekend, and with Sutton not here, that gap is going to increase. Ben Anderson and Peter Belsey were the next nearest challengers, but neither of them are in the immediate vicinity of Farmer. They both are behind Dave Hodkin, who's not really in championship contention. There's Steve O going through in another of the AHS dominators. Meanwhile, Anderson now is going for third place. He's done it!
Good move there on the way into Charlie's, but this long train of cars now make their way out onto the park straight, and Dave Hodkin has actually made a break for it, hasn't he? He was the closest of anyone to challenging Farmer, only 2/10 slower in qualifying, and he himself was about 8/10 quicker than Peter Belsey, so it's no surprise that once Hodkin gets away, he manages to pull away. But will Belsey be able to keep behind Ben Anderson, or will he fancy a look?
Anderson now right with Hodkin then as they come over the line to complete another lap. It's going to be a 3-car. Oh, it's gone straight past him. That was very easy, but just listening to that car as it came past me in the commentary box there, it did sound like it had a bit of a misfire, Jack.
Yeah, indeed. It'll be interesting to see if he can keep it up, because it's a fairly quick circuit here. There are tight and twisty bits, but will Belsey just breeze past down the park straight? Let's have a look and see. Here they come, and Belsey looks to the outside, which will be the inside for Park, and he goes through as well. So it looks like Dave Hodkin could be really struggling at the moment, and the next man that he's got to try and defend against is Declan McDonald. But you get the feeling with that car, there's not really much he can do to defend along the straights.
Yes, so McDonald, the accountant from Tesco, the 3-time low-cost champion, the Mighty Mini champion as well in the past. He's going to be challenging Dave Hodkin before too much longer. McDonald, the GAC 2009 chassis. There is the 31 car further down the order of Graham Gant in the WEV, the Worm's Eye View, making his way around that particular right-hander. Now, here we go then. It looks like McDonald has indeed made it through of Hodkin. He's dropped a bit further down the order, Jack.
Yeah, he certainly has. He must be struggling with the car, because as I said, he was the closest man to Martin Farmer in the qualifying session. Belsey fancies to look up the inside. It's a barn, but they've hit each other, and Anderson is sent sprawling onto the grass. Peter Belsey goes through. That'll be interesting to see exactly what happened there. Belsey's now going to be under pressure from Declan McDonald, and all of a sudden Declan McDonald could find himself in second position as he makes his way into Coppice.
And the other driver getting involved now for the first time really in this race is Paul Taylor, also in a GAC. So it's a GAC leading, a GAC second, then the Spider, and then it's another GAC with the HS Dominator of Steve-O next up, and now Hodkin at the rear of this group. It's McDonald in second, but for how long? Belsey is alongside. Belsey is through already, and slipstreaming him through there, and going through to third place is Paul Taylor. He might even try and have a look for second into Park round the outside. It's very congested indeed, but it's Belsey from Taylor in that particular scrap then, with half a lap to go.
Great racing as they make their way out. They've got a few back markers up in front of them. Will that affect Peter Belsey? So as you say, Paul Taylor, from sort of meandering around in 7th and 8th position, is suddenly in with the chance of a podium as they drop their way down into Mansfield for the final time. Does Taylor have what it takes to make a lunge at any point around this circuit? You wouldn't think so, because he was quite off the pace in qualifying, some 2 seconds slower than poleman Martin Farmer, but his racecraft has got him up into a podium position potentially as they climb the hill. It looks as though Belsey's fairly safe, but this man is fairly safe. Martin Farmer comes across the line to take the win in the 9th round of the Formula V Championship.
So that is a 6th victory of the season for Martin Farmer. This is a driver who's going to miss the last 2 rounds of the championship because he's going to go on holiday, so he needs all of the wins he can get while he can get them. Belsey second, Taylor third, and Declan McDonald in 4th position. There in the background you can see Ben Anderson. He eventually comes home 7th, just ahead of the promising 18-year-old Dan Brigham, who's getting closer to the pace of the leaders all of the time. Now, David Townrow was someone very much on the pace yesterday, but he has had to fight his way back up the order. He was effectively half a lap down at the start because he pulled up on the grass just after leaving the grid, but he is going to come home in 12th position, only a car length or 2 from the Worm's Eye View of Graham Gant. So let's take a look at the results then. Martin Farmer winning by more than 11 seconds in the end. He was in the 1 minute 37th for his fastest lap. No one else did anything better than a 1:39. Second to Belsey, third to Paul Taylor, and 5th and 6th Steve-O and Dave Hodkin. Further down the order, Tim Probert was 9th and Stephen Glaswell 10th. David Townrow, as we said, up to 12th position. Martin Farmer extends his lead in the championship